My name is Waffles, and I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator. I was working at the Department of Labor during the early stages of the pandemic where I witnessed widespread fraud. My experience right now is like this. You see all the agents right there? You see all the motherfuckers that look the same? The Agent Smiths? I mean, I'm also a victim of these crimes, so I'm continuing to fight back and try to stand up for my rights, and I'm in a life-threatening situation, so I'm going to do everything I possibly can to protect myself. But I've also been reporting on and monitoring the situation at our federal agencies. I discovered what to me looked like a national security threat encroaching all the way back in 2023 and began documentation. I started writing a book. I tried to warn the government. Nothing was done. Things got worse. So I'm out here publicly acting. I am acting as a political commentator so I can continue to insert my opinion while we do this dumbass shit. And what I'm witnessing is a bunch of Agent Smiths, okay? I'm coming in from the bottom up. I'm dealing with a situation, and I'm trying to get assistance. I'm in Weld County, Colorado, and I have had to report the county to the authorities for investigation because they're refusing to provide basic services through a variety of departments. And it certainly looks to me like they're concealing fraud. And it's just my opinion. The investigations got to go on. They got to figure out what's going on over there. But I'm witnessing the same pattern of behavior over and over and over and over and over and over again. And because of the fact that there's open case going on right now, I got to be careful about what I speak about and how I address it. But what I will say, if this administration's trying to do harm to the people and what they're doing is dismantling everything that keeps the nation safe, which our federal agencies collectively as a whole protect national security. So they do matter, and they do need to be functioning because people should not have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a lawyer to get assistance with basic legal issues. That is what our agencies are here for. And some of our agencies blatantly look for, domestic terrorist threats and stuff like the FBI. And so these agencies do matter, and I really need people paying attention. Because right now, this is what it's like for me, trying to protect not just my rights, but your rights. There's fucking Agent Smiths everywhere, man. You get the point. So many Agent Smiths. Okay, don't have me out here fighting this battle on my own. All right. So, whistleblower disclosure to the public. I'm going to let you know what I'm witnessing because I'm also watching for people out of state and I am a public figure. I got 75,000 followers on Blue Sky. I've got a diverse audience broken up between platforms. And I just feel like there's something about the words federal agencies that turns people off. And so that's why people aren't helping. I need people paying attention. We need to pay attention. Okay? Other than that, if you want to defend your rights, get out there and defend your rights. So people are contacting me and they're letting me know the things that they're experiencing as well. And I'm sniffing out fraud pockets. And I am concerned that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are directly, defrauding the United States. Yes, I am. I feel like their recent declarations that they're fighting fraud are disingenuous and are being done to conceal fraud. And I'm expressing my thoughts and my opinions using my First Amendment right to freedom of speech and freedom of the press to do so. It is my constitutional right as a U.S. citizen. So, then, Here's what I've been witnessing. This is the pattern of behavior, and I would like other people to start noticing this, because if MAGA is committing fraud, if, this is a hypothetical statement. I'm not declaring that these things are happening. I'm expressing my thoughts and my opinions. And I have a right to do so. Don't fuck with my videos. Official malfeasance. Pattern of behavior. What I'm witnessing out here in Weld County, and is also similar behaviors taking place in other locations, and I'm a whistleblower that was working on the state level for the Department of Labor, where I witnessed similar behavior, and it's called gatekeeping. That's the main thing that we need to be looking out for. If the people that you are talking to, working for any of our federal agencies, be it the Department of Labor, your local police, HHS, etc., are gatekeeping access to services, if the answers that they are giving you are not making sense, or if they are talking you in circles but not really providing assistance and trying to get you off the phone, you can tell when you talk to them. This is what I want people watching for. You can tell when you talk to them, because they're not trying to assist, and they're trying to get you off of the phone as quickly as possible. So if you want to know where the fraud is, I believe that frontline employees, and I'm just expressing my opinion here, I believe that frontline employees at our federal agencies have been since the beginning of the pandemic, because I believe that Donald Trump set himself up an operation before leaving office, have been for the last 6 years now, deferring people and not providing assistance. And from what I'm seeing where I'm sitting, they're violating the constitutional rights of the citizens of the United States. So if your rights are being violated and you're experiencing financial harm, then fix it, Hold the bad people accountable. It's because like this way, like what I'm seeing is like, okay, so that person's involved. So then because you're required by law, like if you're going to be handling cases, you need to escalate anyways. So when it comes to our federal agencies, if somebody's not doing their job, you go to the person above them. And if they're not doing their job, you go to the person above them. Okay? I contacted my State Bureau of Investigations and the FBI at the same time, and the DOJ, and multiple other branches. So they're all looking at each other to ensure accountability. So anybody committing crimes is not likely to get away with it in this situation. And I wrote a whole book explaining that people in specific divisions of government have not been getting assistance. This was prior to the election. I started monitoring these guys in 2023 because I already knew what was going on because I was working in the Department of Labor. And I seen it. And nothing changed. And it's still happening. It's called gatekeeping. They're attempting to prevent you from getting services. So if money is supposed to be going out to claimants, and the claimants, the average citizen who's trying to get help, are not receiving help, where is that money going? There's a thing called false claims. And that means that they're scribbling on paper, writing fake cases, and taking the money. Somebody somewhere. I also witnessed what I believe is evidence of wire fraud, straight up pinching off of people's unemployment accounts through computer systems. And I believe that that's what Elon Musk's job was to conceal in the establishment of Doge. So I don't want to go too into detail, but what I am saying is they're all doing the same thing. We got a bunch of Agent Smiths out here. They all look the same. They all act the same. Everybody needs to know. You need to know how to recognize it. And for the sake of your own well-being, know how to bypass it. I've had enough of this shit. And my whole county's corrupt. I don't know how long they've been doing this, but I have spoken with people on the phone. And we flush out the rats by locating them. And their behavior is a dead giveaway. Refusal and unwillingness to file cases and or reports, that's another one. Belittling as a means of intimidation to prevent you from attempting to get assistance by minimizing your complaints, making you feel that there's nothing you can do about it. No, That is abuse of discretionary power, first of all, if they're refusing to file cases and or reports and you need to go somewhere else and hold them accountable. Welcome to part 2. No, this is very frustrating. Okay, I'm out here fighting the Agent Smiths, and there's a lot of them, alright? So, my point is this, okay, not everybody is a bad guy in the government. Actually, most of them are just civil servants, and we need to prevent the problem from getting worse. Some areas are going to be worse than others, and for me, my whole county is a problem, apparently. I'm just watching this. I'm reporting this to the state. I'm in a life or death situation. They have a responsibility to act, especially since my civil rights have been violated. So it is what it is, and I'm just using my discernment, and I see that they're all acting this way, and that's not within the confines of how the law operates, and it's not what they're supposed to be doing. My observation is there's a chance this has been going on for more than 20 years in this specific county. It's just a county, though. The whole state, the state investigative agencies and the FBI and all that's looking at these motherfuckers now. Okay, to them, this is just a county. So, you know, while it has been normalized in the county, I wasn't experiencing this and kind of shit until I moved here. And when I was here, when I was a kid, I was experiencing this shit. So I can clearly see that there was a systemic problem that needs to be handled. And I'm just going to go around it. But I want you guys to know, if you watch my previous video, how to identify what I am referring to as Agent Smith. Because they're all the same. And if they're going to act that way and they're breaking the law, then there is less of them and more of us, and less evil in the government than there is of these Agent Smith motherfuckers. And again, it depends on where you live, but use your discernment, see what's going on around you, know what's going on around you, stand up for yourself, and don't just let thieves take what they want from you. Other than that, the gatekeeping shit, I think, is happening nationwide, and I think it's being primarily facilitated through call centers. And I think that frontline employees are not being properly trained, and they are being trained to conceal fraud, most likely. I'm expressing my opinion. I'm expressing my thoughts and my opinions as a political commentator and whistleblower based on my observations. So if somebody's on the inside stealing money and training all the people on the outer rim to deflect and refuse to assist the public and the government needs to figure out who is inside of that. Because those cells, there's the bottom-up approach for dealing with these problems. We don't put up with mass chaos and harming people. This needs to be fixed. It is a matter of national security that our agencies need to be running and assisting the public. It is why we pay taxes. People should be protected from things like fraud, violent crime, etc. We have a reason to expect that. We have a reasonable expectation to have some sort of basic standard of living in the year 2026. It is why we pay taxes. Dude, the Smith clones. I mean, general well-being, and like right now, a third of the population is like evil and shit, and that number will decrease when people have more stability, and we can increase that stability by holding the assholes accountable, and you can hold the assholes accountable if you know what they're doing. Well, what they're doing is gatekeeping services. Other than that, if you're trying to file like a legal case and stuff, and official is refusing to do so, that is an obstruction of justice. There's a whistleblower that I'm watching in Washington have a similar experience where like he tried to file a legal case, and the county is refusing to do that. You can't do that. That's an abuse of discretionary power, and in doing that, you are obstructing justice. And so you're preventing a person from handling a legitimate problem that is harming them, that is a legal affair that they need to get handled. And so while officials have the right to use discretion, they do not have the right to deny people their rights, and that includes the right to take shit through the courts. Habeas corpus is part of your constitutional rights. You can invoke the 4th and 14th Amendment on those, I think. One of those. So these are things I want people watching out for that I'm observing, and I'm just getting really fucking mad because, like, the longer this goes on, like, this is looking like it's going to be a county-wide bust, and right here this looks like a deeply ingrained systemic problem that's been going on for a while, and it's not okay because I'm not the only one getting harmed here. There's literally thousands upon thousands of people who live here who rely on these services who are not getting the assistance they need, and with some of these authorities that I'm watching, this means people are being harmed and possibly killed. So there's a reason why I'm very pissed off about it, because I'm going through what I'm going through. I'm witnessing this behavior, and I know that it's not just harming me, but that it's harming a significant amount of people, an entire population in my own country, and this pisses me off.